Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Sorry about that. Tech is not my thing. Can
Oh,
you hear me okay?
yeah, I hear you fine, loud and clear.
Yeah, cool.
So how are you doing today?
Yeah, not bad. I'm in London in the UK. You're in, well, the West Coast, are you?
Yes. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm in the Seattle area. I live oh just 2.5 miles or so from Wizards of the Coast. Their
Oh, right.
office. Yeah, really
Yeah.
close. So you're interested in a charlatan?
Yeah, I thought that might be a fun thing to play.
Okay. So first things first, I'll get you a token. Also, I'm sure you were aware this is a pay to play game.
Yep.
Okay. So there is a Patreon page where you can pledge. And that is right here. And the player level is the $10 level. So it's a pledge of $10 a month.
Cool. Yep. Okay, no problem with that. That's fine.
And your character sheet. And then the first thing we need to know about your character is at least a tentative name for your character. That way we can roll stats and whatnot.
Yeah, put him down as Dante Sheehan. I think.
Okay.
Sorry, is that music you or me?
That music is on the virtual tabletop. You can turn
Oh,
it down by there's in the top right corner. There's a wheel, settings
yeah,
wheel for my settings. If you click on that,
yeah.
close the personalization and display folder, and then open up the audio and video folder. And there's a volume slider, master music volume level. Left is lower and right is higher, of course.
Perfect. Yeah, that's cool. I can hear you better now. Cheers.
Okay, 1 second.
Sorry, can I just clarify? Because obviously we're in very different time zones.
Yes.
It's 6 o'clock my time, which is what 1 p.m. East Coast. Is that
Yes, 1 p.m. East Coast. And
fine?
we usually play about 5 hours. Sometimes we go a little longer if no one has to leave.
No, that's fine. That's good for because yeah, it's 11 o'clock finish. Well, that's fine. That's perfect.
Okay. Alright, so we've got pre-made sheets, character sheet, edit, duplicate. Alright, close that out. And I'll slide this to the very top of the journal tab. And show the players. Alright, so a character sheet should have just opened up. And I'll give you access to edit the character sheet.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So if you click on the edit button in the top right corner of the character sheet, you should be able to
Sorry.
give yourself a name. The edit button in the top right corner.
Yeah, it's just loading up. I think there's an update on Roll20's just appeared. is asking me to do that. I'll leave it at the moment, but it's very, very slow.
Okay. So about a year ago, Roll20 outsourced their character sheets to like a third-party server.
Yeah.
Because it like character sheets became too big of a storage issue for Roll20,
Oh,
so
right.
they outsourced it. And so there's a little bit of a loading time lag depending on what server it's on and what part of the world you're in. So I think it's somewhere on the east coast of the United States, but I'm not absolutely sure.
It could well be closer to me than it is to you, ironically. But it is still loading.
Oh, it's still loading. The character sheet
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, as soon as it loads, maybe we shouldn't close it at all. You can actually minimize character sheets on the virtual tabletop if you double-click anywhere across the top bar of the character sheet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've used Roll20 quite a bit. I've got a few games online at the moment, Roll20, so I'm vaguely familiar with it.
Yeah.
Every DM seems to have a different take on what's important and how they do things, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not tech savvy, but yeah, I'll be alright.
This this character sheet is called the AD&D Second Edition Simple Sheet.
Right.
And the beauty of this sheet is the stat block. It has an automatically populating stat block. As soon as you type in your ability scores, the rest of the line on the stat block for that ability score automatically populates.
Cool. I think I've used it before by the sounds of it.
Yeah. And
Although
then... Oh, go ahead.
Can I do the recommended update? Because I wonder if that's slowing it down. It shouldn't take this long to load, should it?
No, I don't think it should. Are you able to close it?
Let's see. Yeah, let's do that.
Were you able to close it?
Oh, no, yeah, I've gone back. There we go, straight back into it. So that's cool.
Did it load up?
Yeah, no, it's loaded now. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So first thing is we're going to need a name for your character. Are you familiar with this sheet? Have you used it before?
I haven't used this before, no.
Okay, so along the top there are 3 tabs. There's one that says Bio and Info, one that says Character Sheet, and one that says Attributes and Abilities. You'll be using mostly the Bio and Info and Character Sheet tabs.
Right.
And if you click on the Character Sheet tab, it's basically a second edition character sheet. It has spots for saving throws, movement rate, armor class, class kit, alignment, race level, name, etc., etc.
This I have used before.
Okay.
The actual character sheet.
So yeah. Oh, Dante Sheehan. There you go. And then your race, alignment. I think the Charlatan is limited to neutral good, like true neutral, neutral evil, or chaotic neutral. So any of those would be appropriate.
My long-term aim, if it survives beyond first level of the character, is to try and at some stage dual class as a human, maybe over to a major or I don't know. Depends on the stats.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah, depending on the stats. The qualifications to be a bard.
Yeah, got them here. I've got all the books, the second edition. So yeah, Dex needs to be minimum 13, Intelligence 13, Charisma 15. I don't think it's any different from Charlatan.
Okay. So you'll need to roll pretty high if you want a dual class out of bard.
Yeah,
because you'll need 15 or higher in all of those. In just the prime requisites, there should only be 2, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's right. It is charisma and dex, I think, for bard.
Okay.
And if is it 15 or 16, you get the 10% bonus for XP.
16 or higher in all the prime requisites, and you get a 10% bonus.
Yeah, I'm going to hold my
Bard.
breath.
Okay, yep. Prime requisites are dex and charisma, so you're going to want at least 15 in both dexterity and charisma. And then if you wanted to switch to wizard, you're going to have at least 17 in intelligence.
Yeah.
Because you have to have 15s in the class you switch out of, and 17s in the prime requisites of the class you switch into.
I'm not optimistic, but one lives in hope.
Yeah. I have seen stats that high before. You know, 2 15s and a 17 is not the highest I've ever seen. So it is quite possible. And I will allow you to re-roll until you get the stats you need to build the character you want to play. So
Cool.
this is I'm pretty lenient when it comes to rolling stats. But as soon as you roll the right, stats or whatever, you're stuck with those. So if it's like,
Right.
10s in your other stats, then, well, so be it.
Yeah, that's cool. So the next thing you want to do, I mean, I can fill out the stuff, like the height and the age and all that. I can go to the book and do later on if you like.
No, I have a random roller for that stuff.
Oh,
So
fine. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all built in. And we'll take care of that. Okay, so I just have to. Some of the tokens weren't showing up for me, so I'm just refreshing real quick. Alan Dale, Will Scarlett, Emmerigan, Homer. Are all bards. Huh. Interesting. It sounds like the two abilities that the Charlatan gets are mechanically the same as the bard's ability to influence reactions. It's saving throw versus paralyzation with a -1 for every 3 experience levels of the bard. So I already have that mechanic automated in the bard abilities, so we can just kind of forego actually creating that for the Charlatan, because you can use the same one that's already created. I have the bard abilities created already. Let's see. Okay, music. All right. So I gotta give you a token. If you could find an avatar for your character sheet, like a picture of what your character would look like, that would help me out immensely in finding an appropriate token for you. For right,
Yeah. Yeah, I can do it now if you like.
for right now, I'm gonna use, just tentatively, we'll use this token for you. Let's see, come on.
Yeah, I can amend that later. That's cool.
Okay, just for now, we'll use that one. Dante. Okay. Alright, so just for character creation's sake, this is going to be your token for now.
Yep, okay.
So what you should do is click on your token, and then along the top of the screen, you'll see several buttons show up. All the way to the, I think it's all the way to the right, should say a button that says character creation. If you click on that, it's going to roll you a random birthday, random stats, random personality type. The personality type and stuff like that is mainly for NPCs. The parts that you'll be using is the birthday and the actual stat block that rolls up. Okay, so that's not going to do. 14, 12, 6, 12, 10, 10. Go ahead and roll again. So we need at least 2 15s and a 17. That's not going to do. Go ahead and roll again. Oh man, no 17s in there. Missed it by 1. 2 16s and a 15. Go ahead and roll again. 3 17s. All right. Congratulations. You got a pretty badass character right there. All right. Yeah. 12, 16, 11, 3 17s. All right. So go ahead and arrange your ability scores to your liking. And remember, you're going to need 15 or higher in dexterity and charisma. And then one of the 17s has to go into intelligence for you to be able to dual class later on.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm just going to take a little picture of your stats and attach it to your character sheet in the DM section. And then once you're done allocating your stats, you can go ahead and go into your bio and add your birthday, but you have to click on edit in order to edit your bio. And your bio is readable by everyone else, so don't put any secret information in there.
Yeah,
just put what you want other people to know about you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do, I think. The stats.
Oh, cool. You've already figured it out.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to take a picture of that one too.
He's short and heavy.
62 inches. Yeah, that's 5'2". Wow. Yeah, he is pretty tubby. 172 pounds at 5'2".
Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's not the image I had for him at all.
If you gave him a 17 strength, he could be muscular and short.
I kind of thought about playing him as a sort of quite a wimpy sort of character.
Oh, okay.
Full of his own bravado and swagger, but not very much to back it up with.
Mm.
But no, that's all right. He just likes cakes. That's fine.
Yeah.
And
mead.
What? Yeah, lots of mead. What other stuff do I need to do? No.
Well, at level 1, since bards don't have a spell book or anything, we can move on to proficiencies.
Yeah.
So the Charlatan is required to take. There are 3 weapons. There was dagger, short sword, and long sword, and at least every other weapon proficiency has to be dedicated to one of these until all 3 are taken.
Yeah, I think you'll probably start with a long sword and a dagger. And you'll probably try and fight with both.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying that all the other characters in this are really high level, aren't
they? Yes and no. The newest player, his character is, I think, level 6, and he has gained 1 level every session since he started. So it's subjective whether you consider that high level or not. Usually, at this point in the storyline, you're probably going to gain at least 1 level per session until you get to level 8 or 9.
Yeah, okay. I was just thinking he's not going to do much hand-to-hand fighting with it. Maybe have a missile weapon rather than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I actually allow the flintlock weapons.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then also the combination weapons. So that's like the sword pistol, the axe pistol, the hammer pistol, and whatnot.
I guess he's not going to afford those at first level, though.
Say again?
He won't be able to afford those at first level.
Probably not. They are kind of expensive. I think the belt pistol is a little bit more affordable than the other weapons. It's a little weaker, but it is the lightest of all the firearms.
Yeah, and I think I think just the character I have in mind, he's going to go with a long sword and a dagger.
And dagger, okay.
Does the dagger count as thrown as well as melee? Or is
yes.
That separate?
Yeah. When you become proficient with a weapon, you become proficient in all of its uses.
Okay.
So, for example, the bastard sword, it takes one slot to become proficient with the bastard sword if you're a warrior or a bard or an assassin or whatever, and you're proficient in both one-handed use of the sword and in two-handed use.
Yeah. So because his dex is quite high, he could in effect fight with dual weapons and just take a sword.
Yeah. I think it's the missile attack adjustment that it uses, +2. So that would reduce your offhanded weapon attack roll penalty to -2, and your main weapon wouldn't have any penalty at all.
Yeah, so it's probably not a bad way to boost the amount of attacks he gets.
And I do allow bards to, since bards are allowed to wear up to chainmail, I actually let them cast spells in up to chainmail.
Oh right, that's cool.
Yeah, so the rules are very vague on that point. I know the rules say that wizards are not able to cast spells while wearing armor, and the bard spells are wizard spells. However, bardic spells mechanically are in what's called bardic notation, and that kind of separates them from, arcane wizard notation. And so it allows them to, at least in my campaign, cast in up to chainmail. So if you wanted to purchase chainmail level 1, you may. It's pretty expensive though, but and that makes bards in 2nd edition and in this campaign in particular pretty cool because for one, they can cast their spells. Number 2, they can cast spells in up to chainmail armor. And 3, they're able to use any weapon, thus they're able to use firearms. So bards can be pretty neat in combat. You can shoot a gun 1 round, next round cast a spell, next round reload your gun, next round cast a spell again, next round shoot your gun again,
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. And then there are some bonus non-weapon proficiencies that are given to the Charlatan. They get acting, disguise, forgery, and gaming for free. And when you notate your non-weapon proficiencies, I have a little method. I'll show you an example. So these ones are the free ones. I'm going to put them on your character sheet for you. There's acting 0. Catch.
Under the singing non-weapon proficiency, it's not very clear. It says all bards have it in the. I think that's what it said when I read it. Let me just see.
Yeah, you're supposed to get, I think, at least 1 instrument and also singing, and then.
Yeah, it says note that bards can do this automatically when it comes to singing. So I'll just take that as a free weapon proficiency.
Non-weapon, yeah. So acting. And there was
instrument I have to buy, but you get 2 musical instruments you're proficient in rather than just 1.
For the Charlatan, or?
I think just the bard generally.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. If it says that in the player's handbook or the bard's handbook.
Read that now. It's in one or the other.
Bards. Charisma -1. Charisma -1. Forgery. Dex -1. And gaming. Rogue, Bard. All bards are proficient singers, chanters, or vocalists, and can play a musical instrument of the player's choice. So you can take singing... Wait, singers, chanters, or vocalists. That's basically the same proficiency. It's all singing.
Yeah.
So you can take, singing for free.
Yeah, singing, I think you'll take it.
And then a musical instrument of the player's choice. What musical instrument do you want to take?
Probably the harp, I think.
Harp. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, so if you look at your proficiencies so far, I've added your free ones. First one is acting, and then I put a 0 for how many slots were actually spent on it. And because it's free, you spent 0. And then I put in parentheses kit, so it's free because of your kit. And then in the next column, I put at wavy bracket, charisma, close wavy bracket. And that's going to basically call on the actual charisma score from your character sheet in your stat block. And then the next column is -1 because that's the check. It's charisma -1. And then it's the same for, disguise, forgery, and gaming. Well, except for forgery is dependent on your dex. Gaming is charisma +0, so if there's no adjustment at all, you can just leave it blank.
Yeah.
And then singing, I haven't found yet. Fine. Singing is charisma +0, so we just copy that charisma deal into there. And then musical instrument is dexterity -1, so that's the same as forgery. Gotta copy dexterity into there, and it was -1. So with that system, it lets me see how many proficiency slots you've spent. If you put acting 0, I know that it's from your kit.
Yeah.
It's free from your kit. And then singing and harp, I put 0 class, because it's free just for being a bard.
Yeah.
And then bards at level 1. Let's see, rogues. Rogues get 2 weapon slots, so you've chosen your weapons. And then they also get 3 non-weapon slots, and I also use bonus slots from intelligence at level 1. So your intelligence is 17, your number of languages is 6, so that's an extra 6 slots. One of which you have to spend on your native tongue, so whatever you want your native tongue to be, I would suggest. Actually, you're a human, so it has to be common. Actually,
Yeah.
um, so I'll just put that in for you. Common tongue of man. And then, so you have 9 slots to spend. Depending on what part of the world you're from, I might give you additional languages that you can choose from. So I think I should probably share a little bit of lore with you now, so you can decide what kind of man you want to be. So there's 4 main continents on Solenoid Hex. There is Panoplia, which is the like European type of continent. It has European cultures in it, including like Norsemen and Western Europeans, like almost like a British type of society that speak with like a British accent. You know, there's a lot of I guess stereotypical accents in the world. So you've got in Eastern Panoplia, there's a city-state that I modeled a little bit after Rome, and the people there have an accent that sounds a little bit like Little Italy in like Brooklyn, New York.
All right, yeah.
But the government is like ancient Rome. They have like, it's a republic. So they have senators and whatnot that they vote for, and they're elected by, it's like the first democratic society in the world. Then there's also almost like a more like German type culture in central Panoplia that has been conquered and mostly destroyed. The royal family was killed off except for the princess, who was pregnant at the time, actually. And she recently gave birth to a Minotaur baby. So while she was imprisoned, she had relations with one of the prisoners who was a Minotaur that was wanted shortly before the invasion, and he was captured. And so there's that. So eventually the royal family of that place will become Minotaurs if she names him as her heir, which probably will, even though he's a bastard. But and then in southern Panoplia, there's more of like a Spanish culture. They live in it's basically like a temperate desert, and they cultivate wines, and they have bullfights and whatnot. So they're kind of modeled a little bit after like Southern European cultures, like a mix of Spanish and other Mediterranean European cultures. And then south of there is the continent of Aperceba, which is a continent that's modeled after most of Africa and West Asia, or like the Middle East. So like Arabic and Persian cultures mixed with African cultures. And there's a lot of like nomadic barbarian tribes, and the people who live in cities are mostly like Western Asian cultures. So you've got cities that are built of ethnically, or I guess occupied by ethnically different people than the barbarians. Barbarians are more tribal people, and the city people are more, I guess, Western Asian. And then there is an area a little further to the south that's occupied by an almost like Egyptian type of culture. So you've got a big ass mix of a lot of stuff in in that continent. And then east of Panoplia is the continent of Adria, which is a fantasy Asian continent. So there are a lot of stereotypical accents there. You've got names that are derivative of like fantasy Japanese and fantasy Chinese real world names, but they're broken
Josh,
up.
sorry, no, just for 1 second, I was going to say a call very quickly, just for 10 seconds. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Hello. Sorry, on the other line, yeah. No. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So it's basically fantasy Asian cultures. You've got monks, wujin, ninja, samurai. You know, it was once an empire that was led by a goddess. She was assassinated. Well, her avatar, anyways, was assassinated and killed. And it's now ruled by a shogun, who wants to unify, the whole continent by hook or by crook. He's willing to kill and, invade and pillage and all that. Including the barbarian tribes that live in the steppes, and they're like his greatest enemies or whatever. And then there's a western continent across the sea that's kind of modeled after the United States, but it's during the settlement era, so it's a lot of indigenous people, indigenous tribes, kind of like Wild West gunslingers, wagon trains. There's no steam power, so there's no actual locomotives, but there's wagon trains and amber waves of grain on the fruited plains and purple mountain majesties, and the indigenous people hunt the purple buffalo, and the settlers are killing all the purple buffalo. Why are you killing all our buffalo? And that area of the world is largely undeveloped so far, but there have been NPCs from there, like indigenous people. The cultures there are either tribal or like early agricultural for the indigenous people, and then the settlers are mostly people from Panoplia, and some from Adria, and some from Aperceba. And the old ways of warfare have been abandoned, and most people just carry firearms or short blades like daggers and knives. Armor and swords have largely been left behind because it takes too much metal, and mining hasn't really caught on yet. So a lot of the firearms are mostly wood anyways, and just a little bit of metal, so they're more efficient to manufacture than having to mine enough steel for a long ass blade or something. And then there's a North and South Pole that probably has indigenous people as well. There's the Southern Reaches and the Great White North. So most of the real world ethnicities are represented in Solnod Hex. So you could be from any type of real world culture that you want, and I'll just let you know what part of the world you'd be from.
Well, could I be quite stereotypical and boring? I imagine this chap to be, well, shall
Yeah,
we
no
say
problem.
British? I've
Yeah,
got the accent off the sea.
yeah. Anything you want. Yeah,
And
that's fine.
he's obviously sort of lower middle class, whatever. I mean, I'm going to portray him as some sort of aristocratic son that's been disinherited and he's gone out into the world. He's an artist, so I
Yeah,
want to do
that's that's
painting.
perfect. Yeah, your social rank you rolled was lower middle class, so
Yeah,
it looks like
so
there's
he's going to pretend he's upper class, but it's quite obvious that he's not. But he's going
yeah,
to sort of try and carry it off as a
yeah.
put upon younger son of a lord. He's
All
got airs
right.
and grace. He's not necessarily the most easy person to get on with.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a harp player. Pretty sure I have a bard with a harp. Okay, there we go. Is this token
Yeah,
okay?
that's cool for me.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I will flip it around and
I've got a list of my other non-weapon proficiencies I'd quite like to have. I take it all the other races, the non-human races, are dotted around the world.
yeah, there are a couple exceptions. In the Humanoids Handbook, most of the humanoid races are present in this campaign, except the Saurials, because they're from Forgotten Realms. So they do
Yeah,
exist somewhere in the multiverse, just not here. They exist.
sure.
They exist on Toral only,
Okay.
that I know of. I've never seen them in any other campaign before. And then Beastmen. They are only that I know of. They're only on Greyhawk.
Okay, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah,
I'm just thinking about additional languages.
yeah.
There's six
So
non-weapon proficiencies I'd like to run with, and then the
yeah,
other ones I'll put over to language.
as far as languages go, typically humans are only privy to the common tongue unless the DM makes an exception. And because you've chosen like a Western European type of area to be from,
Yeah,
I have an island nation called Enervia, which is it's essentially the British Isles squeezed into one,
yeah.
and so it has a king, King Landric. A few years back, King Landric declared war on the local elves over. There was a mithril mine discovered in the local forest, and so the forest is basically cut in two by a road. There's a road going right through the middle of this forest. So there's a north half and a south half, and it's not really halves per se. The north half is a lot larger than the south, but the south is where the high elves kind of live on the island of Enervia, and they are led by a queen who is half breed, not half human, but half wild elf.
All right.
And so she fiercely is protective of these wild forest lands, and wanted to keep humans out of even the northern half of the forest. And so the elves laid claim to this mithril mine. At the same time, the humans laid claim because some adventurers actually discovered it. And they kind of killed off the goblins that lived there, and word got out that there was mithril present in the mine. And so the elves and humans went to war. And the capital city at one point in time used to have citizens that were Elvish, and some of them kind of mixed with the local population and formed, half-elven families. But when the war started, all those elves and half-elves were kicked out by the locals, not by the law, but by the locals,
Cool.
and because there was like a lot of elf hate going on. So the Elven language is present in the city, as insofar as some of the humans know how to speak it.
Okay, so that could be one that he could run with. I think.
Yeah, and with that language, I don't use subracial languages, so there's no difference between the High Elf language and the Gray Elf language, or the Drow language. They all speak Elvish.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So if I take that as a language, is what it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah.
And then do you want me to put in the other, or type in the other ones that I want?
So you don't have to, or sorry, the languages are kind of down below non-weapon proficiencies.
No, so I was talking about the other normal proficiencies.
Yeah, the normal proficiencies would go in the top part, and then languages go down here, where you've got Elvish and languages. They only cost one slot, and then reading and writing. If you wanted to be, literate, you first have to pick a language that you can speak before you can learn how to read it and write it. So you're
Yeah,
eligible to read and write Common and Elvish with what you've got so far.
oh, what is that just automatic? So if you can speak the language, you can read and write it. Or do I need to?
You have to spend a slot to be able to read and write, and it's per language too.
Fine.
So
Okay,
speaking languages is one slot per language, and then reading writing is one slot per language you can already speak.
fine. Okay.
And then artistic ability painting that's one slot. Appraising one slot. I think spellcraft is one slot. And I think spellcraft is intelligence. I think it's -2. Spellcraft. Yeah, intelligence -2. Appraising, I think, is also intelligence.
Doing something very odd.
And then artistic.
So I can't type in etiquette for some reason. I don't know why that is.
You can't what?
For some reason, I keep typing in etiquette and it's not. No, it's doing it. It's good. There you go.
Okay, artistic ability is wisdom. Etiquette is charisma. Artistic ability, wisdom +0, and then etiquette. Charisma +0. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think etiquette is 1 as well, so that's 5. So you got 4 more slots to spend. Oh, looky here. Chanting is an actual proficiency in the Bard's Handbook. Charisma +2. And chanting does what? The character is an accomplished chanter and can use this ability to help fellow workers or soldiers keep pace. Oh.
We'll put that in. That sounds like fun. Yeah.
On a successful proficiency check, those who can hear the chanter become slightly hypnotized by the rhythmic sound, causing time spent on arduous, repetitive tasks to pass quickly. The DM can, at his option, adjust results for force marching, rowing, digging, and other such tasks accordingly. So you can basically lead a cadence during a daily march.
All right.
That's cool. Let's see, chanting. Okay, yeah, read and write common is 1. Chanting is 1. Swimming is 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you still got 2 more to spend.
I was going to put in ventriloquism. Oh, I haven't put that one in. Yeah, tumbling, I think, and ventriloquism. They'll be the last 2 then.
Yeah, tumbling is really good.
Yeah, sorry, I thought I put that one in already. That's stupid, isn't it?
See, read and write common is intelligence. And I think it's like +2, but you'll never have to roll a check for that. That's +1. +1. Chanting. No. Charisma +2. Swimming, I'm pretty sure is strength. I think it's +0.
Yeah, swimming is 0 strength.
And then tumbling is dexterity +0.
Yeah.
Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it looks like you got 1 more to spend. Unless one of those took 2 slots. I don't think any of them did, though.
No, I don't think so. So that's the last one, ventriloquism, I think. Throw that one in there.
Okay.
So that's intelligence -2.
Okay, intelligence -2.
That's cool. Sorry, Josh, I've got to go reasonably soon.
Okay.
I've got to go, but there's a few more things I think we still would need to do. We've got to do
money.
If you're happy, money and hit points. Is that
money and equipment?
Equipment, yeah.
Yeah.
And also thieving abilities.
Yeah. Okay, so Player's Handbook. Money and equipment. Starting money. Rogues start with 2d6 times 10. So if you could roll 2d6. Okay, you start with 50 gold. And you can purchase your starting gear with that. In second edition, the way the money denominations work is platinum is almost like a $5 bill. Gold is like $1. Electrum is like a $0.50. Silvers are like dimes, and coppers are like pennies. There's 100 pennies per dollar and 10 dimes per dollar. But most people make their daily purchases with silver and copper, and golds are kind of, rich people carry them around and normal people hide them. It's like, that's your savings, your life savings is in gold.
Yeah.
So you might have a small pouch of gold underneath your mattress or something in your bedroom, or in a chest buried beneath your house or something. But commoners are probably not going to have much gold. And then adventurers, you might buy your goods with diamonds or something. Adventurers tend to get rich really fast. So,
Or dead.
Yeah. Or dead.
So is your playing my equipment on there later on? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can do that on your own. It's really easy given the information that I've just shared with you. If when you're adding everything up, anything that costs coppers, just put coppers in the hundredth digit, right?
Yeah.
And then silvers go in the 10th digit.
Yeah.
Golds go in the one, full whole numbers, and just make sure that you have, at least one outfit of clothing that you wear, and then if you have armor, you put it on underneath your, outer garments and over your undergarments, and then shoes. You don't want to go, because I'll take a look at your gear, and if there's something missing, I'll exploit it. So you're probably going to want also like a blanket to sleep on. So there's winter blanket, something to carry your stuff in, like a backpack or a basket or a big ass sack or something. And you're going to want some food for traveling, and some way to carry water. They have a wine skin. It's pretty cheap. And then a way to carry your money and your tools, if you have any, like flint and steel or writing ink and quill or whatever.
Okay.
So, belt pouches, belt, stuff like that.
Do you want me to roll hit points as well now? Oh, it's maximum, isn't it, for first level?
Yeah, everyone has maximum at first level. And let's see, you don't have a con bonus, do you? So it's going to be just 6. Level 1, you got 6. And bards don't have spells at level 1, so that's pretty simple. Your character is pretty much good to go except for your gear, and you can do that on your own before you play. That's the only thing I ask, is before you play.
It'll be done at some stage tonight, and it'll be ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Well before
and then also choose an avatar, like picture, for your character.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, do that. That's cool.
And then see you tomorrow at game time.
Yeah, look forward to that. That'll be fantastic. Thanks very much indeed.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you then.
Yeah. See you then. All the best. All right. Oh, and I'll also pay the money over as well. I'll sort that out. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Talk to you
That's
later.
Great. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See you.
And thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please stick around for the raid. Hopefully one of my friends is on. Let's see, back to Twitch. Please stick around. All Dragon streams D&D on Saturdays. He plays it's AD&D 2nd edition, Spelljammer Adventures in Space. He's been streaming forever. /raid Old Dragon. Great guy. He plays some he's a variety streamer. He builds Legos, plays D&D. He plays some kind of like old Mech Warrior game. Not Mech Warrior, what is it? I forget the name of it. It's like an anime or something that's similar to Mech Warrior. All right, here we go.